great to follow such a famous person. I was like, what? I get to follow him?
Yes, a great lead into your segment. And Catherine, when a child doesn't behave, it leaves parents grasping for control. What is one reason why children might not be listening, and what can parents do about it?
Yeah, it's a great question. Every parent faces this problem. And actually, there are a few different ways that we can look at this. One of them is I'd like to say that the apple can't fall far from the tree. And this really is the idea that we allow our children to be seen as separate from us. They're not who we are. We're not photocopies of one another. So it's great for parents not to be surprised when their child has their own mind, their own heart, their own soul. They have things that they want to do that are different than us controlling and commanding them. Most of the time, parents don't realize what they're really lacking is consideration of their child's perspective. And that when you want your child to consider your perspective, the best way to do that is to consider their perspective first and understand and acknowledge what's going on from their side of the street.
And Catherine, you mentioned consideration. What happens when parents try to take control instead of consideration?
Yeah, well, when you take control, you activate the 3 R's: retaliation, rebellion, and resistance. So control is not consideration. And so most parents, I think, are afraid that if they aren't in control, that their kids are just going to do what they want to do. And I call that the child embracing their inner no. So they're going to say no to you in order to say yes to themselves. So what's that yes that they're saying to inside of themselves? And our ability to get curious about that and develop a sense of I wonder what's going on for them. Because I want that child to advocate for their inner no, if it's a no to something outside of themselves. That's really important that they stay in touch with that. But if they're saying no, they're saying yes to something else. Maybe it's yes to, I just want to have choice. It could be as simple as that, because autonomy needs in children are disregarded a lot.
Yeah.
I look at children as a great marginalized community. But really, children do want to please us. But they also struggle sometimes to figure out how not to feel like they're sacrificing themselves to do it.
Yeah, I think it's great that you pointed out they're not photocopies of their parents. They may look like their parents, but it's important that they have their own identities. And what is something parents should keep in mind when changing their behavior and using consideration?
So the thing about consideration is that we want children to learn to be considerate not only of other people, but also to be considerate of themselves. And I think that the concern is that sometimes we forgo this idea that our children need to also be in touch with their own inner voices. So instead of trying to change their behavior, change your behavior sometimes, right? Because your child will start listening to you more often when they see you listening to them and meeting them halfway.
Catherine, very helpful tips for us this morning. We appreciate having you on the show. I'm going to let our viewers know where they can go for more information. For more parenting advice from Catherine, you can follow her on Instagram at Katherine Sellery. With the new year, new you theme kicking off 2022, Cal Hope wants you to know that it's okay to not be okay right now.